Garrett Morgan, born in Paris, Kentucky on March the 4th, 1877. Garrett was the seventh child out of 11 children. His mother, Elizabeth Reed, she was Indian and African descent, and his father, Sidney Morgan, he was a former slave who was freed in 1863. Now, Garrett initially he had only an elementary school education, but when he moved to Cincinnati, Ohio as a teen, he landed a job as a handyman to a wealthy landowner, which helped him to fund lessons from a private tutor. Garrett later took an interest in sewing machines and how to fix them. Now, this interest is what led to Garrett learning the inner workings of the machine, and he later received a patent for his improvement to the sewing machine. And this also led to Garrett opening his own repair business, which was quite successful. And in 1909, while working with sewing machines in his newly opened tailoring shop, Garrett noticed that some woolen fabric had been scorched by a sewing machine needle. Now, this was a common problem because of the speed the machine operated at. Now, in attempts to correct this issue, Garrett, he made a solution to fix the problem. But he noticed that the solution is straightened the woolen hairs of the fabric. So Garrett, he tried this solution on his neighbor's fur-covered dog, and it worked. It straightened the dog's hairs. So he then tried the solution on himself, and it straightened his hair as well. So Garrett, he sold his straightening cream to African Americans through his G.A. Morgan Hair Refining Company. And this allowed Garrett to pursue other interests. In 1914, Garrett, he patented his breathing device or safety hood, which provided safer breathing when exposed to smoke, gases, and other pollutants. Now, Morgan's breathing device, it became the prototype and precursor for the gas masks that were used during World War I to protect the soldiers from toxic gases used during war. And although Garrett's inventions earned him the first prize at the Second International Exposition of Safety and Sanitation in New York, he still faced a lot of controversy due to his race, and especially in the South. So Garrett, he hired a white actor to pose as the inventor of his breathing device. And Garrett, he posed as the white actor's sidekick. Now, Garrett's strategy, it was very successful, and many firefighters and rescue workers bought his device. Although, in 1916, Garrett's sales plummeted for his invention. And they plummeted because in 1916, when the city of Cleveland was drilling a new tunnel under Lake Erie to gain a fresh water supply, the workers, they hit a patch of gas, and there was a huge explosion. So Garrett and his brother, they put on his breathing devices, and they went into the tunnel to save the workers. Now, they managed to save 2 lives, and they recovered 4 bodies before the rescue efforts were shut down. Now, although the men, they were heroes, it was also discovered that Garrett, a black man, was the creator of the breathing machine. And this caused the public to no longer purchase Garrett's device. Now, Garrett, he was initially nominated for a Carnegie Medal for his heroic efforts. But because he was a black man, he was not chosen to receive the award, and others were given credit for he and his brother's heroic efforts. Now, Garrett, he was also the first black man in Cleveland to own a car. And Garrett, being the intelligent and creative man that he was, he developed a friction drive clutch. And in 1923, after witnessing a very bad carriage accident at a very dangerous intersection, Garrett, He created a new kind of traffic signal, or he created the three-way traffic light. And Garrett, he received the patent for his traffic light in the United States, Canada, and Britain. But he eventually sold his rights to General Electric for $40,000. Now, outside of being such an intelligent inventor, Garrett, he was also a devout social activist who supported the African American community. He was a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP. He donated to Negro colleges. He opened an all-black country club, and he launched an African American newspaper named the Cleveland Call, which was later renamed the Call and Post. Now, while awaiting the celebration of the Emancipation Proclamation Centennial, Garrett unfortunately passed away on July the 27th, 1963. Garrett Morgan, March the 4th, 1877 to July the 27th, 1963.